Hi, everybody. It's the Jeff and Katie Show. And here comes the Katie. Are you ready, Katie
I'm
doll?
ready.
It's Sunday and you're on the go.
At 4 o'clock, it's time to slow.
'Cause everybody that you know is watching. The Jeff and Katie Show.
The Katie and Jeff.
No, the Jeff and Katie Show.
The Katie and Jeff.
Whoa, the Jeff and Katie Show.
Maybe it's commutable.
It's simply irrefutable. No matter what, we know that you'll be watching. The Jeff and Katie Show.
The Katie and Jeff Show.
The Jeff and Katie Show.
The Katie and Jeff Show.
Refutable.
Disputable.
Delusional. No matter what, we know that you'll be watching. The Jeff and Katie Show. Math. Katie doll.
Welcome, everybody.
Here we are again, another Sunday. Where does the time go?
Man.
It's been a busy week, Katie doll.
Whew, it has. We have spent a lot of time together.
We've spent a lot of time together. We had Friday night was a big event for us. We had Mary's playlist. That turned out to be quite lovely and wonderful.
It was. It was like a concert from right here. I
Yeah.
mean, we pioneered this tent. I just like it to know, like, this is the Jeff and Katie Show tent, but
Yeah,
we did
they borrowed it from
generously.
us.
Yes, we allowed it to be
We borrowed it
used.
from ourselves.
Yes. And we had all of Mary Seberg, all of her favorite songs that she picked for a concert. It was very cool. We had Lee Becker and Karen Mull stream in basically
joined
on
us
Zoom,
remotely.
and
In
we
North,
had people here.
Lee was in North Carolina and Karen was in Austin, Texas. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's the sort of silver lining of the COVID situation is that we wouldn't. I mean, that wouldn't have happened.
That wouldn't have happened
yeah,
otherwise. That's true. Yeah. So we have a couple of other events now that are coming up. We have I think we're talking about now the Mary's playlist that happened on Friday. We did do a recording of it, and I think we're going to continue to make it available because we're going to be able to send it out to people. So if you still want to get in on that, I think you can still go to the site and buy it.
Oh, you think you can go to RTC?
I think we're talking
2020?
about that being possible. I hope I'm
Okay.
not wrong. I wonder if anybody in the chat section will be able to correct me. But at any rate, if you do go there and you can't, then you can't. But if you do, then you can.
Oh, that's a
then
point.
You will,
That's such a
and
good
you
point.
Must.
And if it doesn't, you could always call us. You know,
You can call Katie Doll
you can
anytime.
call me
Her number is-
555-5555 and let me know. You can hit us up on the social media, which you clearly use
Are
with a
adept at.
plum. Yes.
Yes. Other things that are going on at Northern Sky Theater. We're going to have a very special event on July 26th. That's a Sunday evening.
It's a
And-
double header that day because we have Jeff and Katie, and then we have an event in the evening
right,
too.
Sunday.
Yeah.
I forgot about that little whiz bang portion of the events coming up. Yeah, we're always on Sundays, aren't we?
We sure are.
And also
It's
on
like
that
Aaron Rodgers.
on Sunday, July 26th, we have the healing session, and that's an evening of music and spoken word hosted by our own lovely LaCrissa Granberry. And that is going to be a free event. All of the proceeds from that, which will only be by donation, will go to a lovely organization called Girls with Pearls, which was an organization I think that LaCrissa said she benefited greatly from when she was growing up. So that's going to be a really, really cool thing.
Yeah, I'm.
All
really
you have to do is
excited about
sign
that.
up for that one. You don't have to drop any money. You don't have to do anything. So
And they can sign up on our website, right? NorthernSkyTheater.com.
I believe they can.
Yeah.
Yes.
The healing session is what it's called.
Yeah. I've seen ads for it in the Pen Pulse. In the
I
Pen
have too.
Picks. Kind of fun, isn't it?
Oh yes, it's a very beautiful graphic. I wonder who could have designed it.
Did you do that one too?
I sure did.
Katie Doll's been doing all the graphics. Katie Doll did the Jeff and Katie show graphic too.
That's
I said it
right.
right, Katie.
Yeah, I did. Good job.
I know.
The song is getting to
Did you say good job?
Yeah.
Did you mean to say drat?
Shoot. What's wrong with you? That's right. My party line is that I want you to say it the wrong way, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that's right.
Exactly.
Forgot what my character thinks.
Katie Doll, we have a really special guest today. All the way up from Sturgeon Bay via Iowa.
I was going to say Highway 42.
Bill Theisen is joining us today. Bill, come on into the live picture with us here. Welcome, welcome, my friend.
Hello, Hello, everybody.
So-
It's great to be here.
Yeah, man, can you believe it?
Hey.
Did you think that you'd be out here on the Northern Sky patio this summer?
I did not.
I know.
This is a big surprise, but it's a delightful one. I've been watching the show, and I am a fan, and I am truly honored to be a guest this week. So thank you so much for asking.
Does
Our
it feel like
pleasure.
Oprah a little bit?
It does.
Yeah.
Feel like
It
what?
does.
Oprah.
Oprah. Oh.
You
know.
get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car.
car. Look under your seat. Right.
That was a good Oprah impression.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow. Right on the.
Right
it just
on
came
cue.
right out.
So, Bill Theisen, you are now, as I said, Bill teaches in Iowa, right? During
That's
the
correct.
school year?
I'm at the University of Iowa, correct.
And of course, Bill has been on the Northern Sky stage. The very first time that you performed on the stage was in some year.
It was performed was 2014, the summer of 2014.
Yeah, 2014 was the first
For
time
Packer
you performed.
fans.
Right,
Yep.
right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
That is
Yeah.
amazing. That's
Uh-huh.
longer. That time does go by quickly.
It does go really fast.
But Bill goes back well before that to 2002.
Correct.
And what was that about?
In 2002, I was fortunate enough to be hired as the stage director for a co-production of the Spitfire Bill. The Spitfire Grill. I wanted it to be called the Spitfire Grill, but Fred and James didn't go for it. So, but no, it was a co-production between Skylight, at the time Skylight Opera Theater, and at the time American Folklore Theater.
Yeah, right, right. Name
And
changers.
it was, just a year after it had happened in New York, and so it was really a thrill to mount it in Milwaukee, at the Skylight, and then bring it up here to the Door County Auditorium. And it was an incredible experience, and my first time working for American Folklore / Northern
Yeah.
Sky.
Yeah. And there's so many connections because you were good friends with James Valk. I was good friends with James Valk. You and I, of course, had met, but we had never worked together
Nope,
before.
we had not.
Yeah,
we
so
had not.
it was great to
Yeah,
have
it
you
was
there.
really a great. Yeah, it was a great experience all the way around, and a show that I feel so strongly about and am such a fan of. And
Are you a big enough fan to do a number from it?
I am a big enough fan to do a number from it, and
That was a Katie Doll transition.
that
right there.
was. Do you have a graphic for that, Katie?
You mean really good? It was a really good transition.
Yeah, it was
It
a
was
really good
brilliant.
transition, is what I meant.
Yes, the song I'd love to do for everybody is actually a song that the character of Shelby sings in the Spitfire Grill. It's a song called "When Hope Goes," and personally, it is my favorite song in an incredible score. But it has always been my favorite song since I first heard it, and I think it's because James and Fred's work in this piece is remarkable. But for me, it is the perfect collaboration, the song When Hope Goes, the perfect collaboration between Fred's words and James' music. And it's my favorite.
Let's have you do it for us.
8 years old, with a flag in my hand, step for step, with the big marching band, through the streets, picket fence, whitewashed white. Every house, perfect trim, painted bright. Like Eli, we were brave. There was a world to save. The band struck up a song. Gilead marched along. I can see it still. Everyone in town walking up that waiting for the bus, waving him goodbye, part of all of us. Bowed my head, said my prayers every night. Eli, please save the world, set it right. folded hands, holding hope like a prayer. 4 years pass, fingers part, nothing there. Missing in action. Hannah's never told anyone the real story, but after a couple of years it was clear. Eli wasn't coming back. When hope goes, sidewalks crack, whitewash fades. Music stops, empty streets, no parades. When hope goes, fences sag, flagpoles rust. Paint peels, broken wheels gather dust. When hope goes, hearts close. 8 years old, with a flag in my hand, step for step, with the big marching band. Everyone in town walking up that hill, waiting for the bus. We are waiting still.
Lovely, Bill.
Beautiful,
Thanks.
Bill.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you,
great.
James and Fred.
No kidding. What a song.
So, I think I'm trying to remember, Bill, the first time I ever saw you perform. I think it might have been Packer Fans when you did it down at Marcus.
At the Marcus Center.
Oh wait, did you
Wouldn't
do?
you have seen him at Door Shakes? Or
Did
did
you
you do
do-
Packer Fans at the Marcus way back?
No.
No.
Door Shakes was 2010, and The Much Ado About Nothing was 2010.
Oh, sure, I saw that.
And then
Yeah.
Packer Fans at the Marcus Center was 2012.
When did you do producers at Skylight?
2008.
Okay, that's the first thing I saw
Okay.
you in then. Yep.
2008.
Yep.
I first saw him in Much Ado About Nothing at Door Shakes.
Were you in it too?
Yes, I sure was. I can't believe you don't remember my starring turn as the roving minstrel.
Oh, that's right. I got it confused with that other year when you played the roving
Yes,
minstrel.
exactly. I always wore the same costume.
You did?
Yes.
You did. They had it in storage for you.
Yes. Well, I mean, they would always be like, "Which one should Katie Doll wear this?" You know, I had like 3 kind of that rotated. Sometimes I played 2 different roving minstrels, you know, for like warring dukes or something. But
Oh, so you had to make a distinction.
yeah, I had
Did you play a different lute too?
no, I always had my very period unspecific guitar that I was. But Bill and I was like so delighted to, you know, I knew that Bill was like a big deal in the Wisconsin theater world, and I like he was coming to Door Shakes, and I was nervous, and then he was so fun that I felt unnervous then around Bill.
That was a fun summer. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it really was.
Yeah.
Suzanne and Jerry and James Valk was a part of
Right.
that summer as well, and Deborah Babbage, and yeah,
Right.
just tons of great people. Ryan Shabak and Kay
Oh,
Almond,
yes.
and yeah, it was
That's
great.
That's a fun little lineup.
Oh, it was.
Oh, it was
fantastic.
so fun. And who would you say was the crowning event of that summer, Bill?
Oh, you got him going.
Well, do you want to tell the story, Katie Doll, or should I?
I think you should.
So during a performance, there's a scene toward the end of the play when Hero, the young female, who was Kay Almond, enters to sort of reap her rewards
And like redeem herself after being called
exactly,
you know,
yeah, to sort of
a really
have a confrontation.
impure woman. Yeah.
And one performance, and you know, I'm sure many of you have been to Door Shakespeare, so you're entering from the woods and it's dark, and you know, it's not a typical theater setting.
And you've walked like a mile from the dressing room
to
in
the
dark,
performance
to the,
area.
Yes.
And by the second act, you're in the dark.
Yeah.
So we don't quite know how it happened, But when this young lady entered with her long skirt on the front of the skirt was a very contemporary lavender brassiere.
And
of
it
course,
attached itself somehow?
it had like a Velcro or attached itself to the front
Oh, that's
of her skirt.
hysterical.
She, of course, had no idea
Right.
this was the case. And so we're out there, and I saw it immediately. And I was sort of chuckling under my breath, and luckily no body mic. So, but I was standing next to Suzanne Graff, who's looking at me like, what is up with you, fellow actor? And I sort of glanced over at this skirt, and of course, Suzanne was like, "Wah!" Fortunately, we were only on stage for about 60 seconds before it was our time to exit. But I didn't want to make it apparent to Kay because she had to go on and do this whole scene after we left with the bra on the front of her skirt. But the hardest thing of all was when we did get to exit, of course, there's no wing space.
Right.
You're in the trees.
Right.
So you can't release. You can't laugh.
Right. Right.
So I know I did and others just fell to the ground and doubled over trying not to burst out laughing, but not being completely successful because Kay then coming off a few moments later kind of ticked off at us like, what is going on back here? I'm like, look at your skirt.
Dear.
Exactly. That's a real deer.
Well, the part about it that is puzzling to me is I know Bjorklund well, right? So she put on her skirt or whatever, and she's running through the woods. It's like, where do you pick up in the Bjorklund woods a lavender brassiere?
Well, I'll tell you who owned a lavender
oh,
brassiere.
oh,
And I believe
you did?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was mine.
I wanted her
it
to
was
share
yours?
that fact.
Seriously?
Oh, it really was.
It
Oh,
was
for
mine.
heaven's sake!
So it had
Katie's
come.
So
real
you know
live
where
brassiere.
it came from?
I knew. I was like, hey.
No, but I know you knew it came from your wardrobe. But why? What was it doing in the
Well-
woods of Bjorklund?
Well, I mean, can't say that on this program. No, I'm just kidding. It was just,
It's a family
it was-
show.
Yeah. No, it was. We were just next to each other in the dressing room. It was like there were hooks.
Oh,
Hooks on one of those. So
I
just
wanted it
got
to be
him-
more scandalous.
Yes, I
like
know.
the next time
You
somebody
and me
came in.
both, Jeff.
The next time they came in with somebody's underwear on, so and they're like,
I want the
what
dirt."
area of the forest are you running through?
Right, exactly. Oh,
Oh my
heavens to
God! It was one of
Betsy.
the funniest things. Another brief little story. This is
Oh,
truly
yeah.
the actor's nightmare. I have done 3 Shakespeare plays in my life, and I've loved every minute of them. But it's just not my home. It's not where I live. More musical theater and even opera is more my home. But I've always loved the idea. And I was playing the role of Dogberry in this production of Much Ado About Nothing. And I guess it's common knowledge for those in the know in Shakespeare that Dogberry is often you play another role of the uncle of Antonio. But no one had
Nobody
decided
told
to
you?
mention that to me.
Oh,
So, and for me to prepare for a read-through for a Shakespeare show, I have done a lot of work because I need to. It's so at the first reading, we get to the first Antonio line and nobody says anything. And Jerry Gomez, as calmly as says, "Oh, Bill, that's you." Oh, I'm sure
Did
there
you
was
burst
never
into
flop
song?
sweat like you have seen. I stumbled through it, and I just thought, oh, they're gonna fire me.
yeah.
I'm gonna be fired at the first break.
Yeah, that's
like,
what they're gonna
oh,
do.
please get to the Dogberry scenes. Get to the Dogberry scenes.
yeah.
I practiced those. I promise.
It truly was the actor's nightmare. Oh my God.
Oh, that's too
And then after
funny.
they were like, "Oh my God, we didn't tell you that." I'm like, "No, you didn't." But
So as I
made it
said
through.
earlier,
I persevered.
yeah, the first show you did on the Northern Sky stage was Packer Fans from Outer Space after doing it down in Milwaukee.
Correct.
And then what did you do after that, Bill?
Then, and I thought it was, it was so dear. And Jeff, you had called me a couple times since Spitfire to say, could you maybe think about the summer? But I was at the Skylight for 10 years
Right.
on a 12-month-a-year contract.
Right.
So as much as I would have loved to come up to the door for the whole summer, that was not a possibility. So you called about Packer Fans, which was a delight. And I thought, oh, this will be a nice one summer thing to do. Who knows? Because there's a lot of great character men who work at Northern Sky and, and then I don't know if it was that summer or the fall after that, there was a reading of a new show called No Bones About It.
Right. Right.
And you and Pam called and said, there's a role we'd really love you to read in this. Would you be interested? So I remember we were in Milwaukee at some point at the Milwaukee Youth Arts Center. We had a reading,
Yeah.
like a workshop there.
Yeah.
So that was that. So then this next summer I came back and did No Bones About It. And then the next summer I came back and did No Bones About It and Dr. Doctor.
That's right.
Yeah. And then the next summer, Dr. Doctor again and Oklahoma in Wisconsin.
Uh huh.
Then I took a summer off and I was at TAP that next summer doing Shinbone Alley.
Yeah.
And then just last summer I was back on the Northern Sky stage for We Like It Where.
Yeah. Yeah. You've
yeah,
done a lot
it
of
really
debut
turned
roles.
into quite a
Yeah.
The moment I got the job at the university and had summers free, you gave me work up here, so I feel incredibly fortunate. It's really been great.
Well, it's been wonderful to have you. No doubt about it. Word has it were you going to tell a Doctor story?
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit just about, because it also for me is it says a lot about my Northern Sky experience. During the rehearsal period of Dr. Doctor, there's a scene about a third of the way into the play where it is the young doctor, who played by Chase Digger. It's his first day in the office seeing patients. And there are three of us that come in. First it was Kelly Doherty, and then it was Doug Manchesky, and then it was myself as the mayor. And we each are telling him our ailments and trying to see who this new young doctor is, and they're a little more suspicious than I am. And the way that Matt Zimbrowski, who wrote the score and the script, wrote the whole thing, wrote Dr. Doctor, he'd set it up that we would each sing a similar song and with minor variations. And then he said, like maybe the first day, and let's find a way to make them each special and new, unique. Find your own way to do it. So I was working on it at home one night, and I realized the line after I did my little bit, right after I exited, the first line that Rhonda Ray Bush spoke as the nurse was, "Well, that was fast."
Uh-huh.
And I thought, oh, maybe I should do this really fast.
Ah.
That would be, maybe that's my unique thing. And the next day we were doing a work through of this section. So I went to Tim Lanahan, who was the music director and playing for this rehearsal. And I said, "Tim, I'd really love to try my section of the song really fast." He's like, "Oh my God, yeah. I'll just follow you, go." So I come in and Chase, as the young doctor, says, "What's the problem today?" And I said, "When I got out of bed, a feeling deep inside me said that I had better see the doctor right away. But now that I am here, the reason isn't very clear, and I don't have the first idea what to say. There's something in my brain that tells me something is in pain, and I'm afraid that if I wait, it will get worse. I know it sounds absurd, but I am at a loss for words, so maybe I should go and figure out what hurts. I'll stop by later if I remember what's wrong. Toodles!" And I left the rehearsal. I walked off stage. And Matt Zimbrowski, who is the best audience member ever, stood up and clapped and cheered. And Molly Rohde, who was directing the piece, turned to him and said, "Is that the way you meant for it to be?" And Matt said, "No, but I love it." And Molly said, "I love it too." And so for the next 2 years, that's the way it was performed. And that story in a nutshell really speaks to me about my Northern Sky experience, because as you all know, and you hear it a lot, but to really think about it, a company that every year does 1 or 2 brand new world premiere musicals is a very rare thing. And to be a part of that is really a privilege. Obviously, it starts with the writers, it starts with the creative team, and then it goes to the director and the designers. But once we hit the rehearsal hall, the actors really become a part of the experience as well. And you have the freedom to try things and discuss with both the director and the writers what the character is and what your thoughts are, what you're bringing to it, what they expect from it. And it also gives you the opportunity to make big choices. And sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. But you have that freedom to really try. And that's one of the things I really cherish from Northern Sky and take from it, and hopefully has made me a better actor, and I think especially has made me a better educator, to have that openness and to try to keep that openness and that freedom in the rehearsal hall, even if you're not doing a new piece, but to really make sure that every cast member is truly invested. So I will always be grateful to Northern Sky for that lesson.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so
it's
great.
an interesting thing about the process. I mean, it really, you have to have an openness in the entire room, and that means the director, it means the writer, it means the actors, it means the musical director.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody just has to say yes and yes and yes and throughout
Yes.
the whole process, otherwise it breaks down.
Yep, it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
And
know-
it's not always easy.
No,
it's
it's not. Of
challenging.
course not.
Of
course not.
But it's such a rewarding experience that it really is. It really is fantastic.
Do we as a theater spend any money doing that kind of development work? Does it cost us anything?
Oh no, that's completely free,
Oh,
Katie
good.
Belt. No,
Well, if it did cost us anything, if perchance creating original musicals was an expensive endeavor,
it is.
hint, hint, it is. You, my friends, can help to contribute to just this kind of exciting open um, process that Bill is talking about by dropping a few bucks in our virtual bucket. We've got a link there in the text of the video. It's paypal.me/a buck in the bucket, and that's this is a free show to watch. But if you want to help support our development work, which is ongoing, even though we don't have our usual slate of shows up and running, we're still working so that we'll be ready to have said shows and new shows up for you as soon as we can. So paypal.me/a buck in the bucket. Even a buck goes a long way. So
It sure
thanks
does.
for that.
Yeah. And we did a reading of Love Stings last week, which was really successful over Zoom. It was the first time we did one, and it worked quite well.
Good.
We're going to try a workshop. I don't know. I'm a little scared of that because
Tricky, but
you
doable,
know,
I think. But yeah, not easy.
not easy. No, we're going to spend a lot of time on that Zoom trying to figure stuff out, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of give and take there is in that.
Right.
So that's going to be coming up in August. We're also doing some other concert activities, things like trunk songs, which is going to be coming up in August too. A bunch of our composers have submitted themselves and some other people singing songs that they had intended to be in Northern Sky shows, but in fact
Oh.
ended up in their trunk instead. And so we're going to unveil some of those.
Oh,
And
I
that's
wrote a special
exciting.
one, actually.
That's really dear.
you did?
I wrote one. I set a trunk lyric to
Oh,
music
did you?
for this trunk songs
Oh,
show.
good.
From
Oh,
Victory
good.
Farm.
What
Mhm.
is it from? Which show?
From Victory Farm.
Oh, it is.
Mhm.
So what's it called?
It's called Another Rocky Shore. It's a song that Wolfgang, the crankiest POW, sings while he's swimming in the lake. He escapes and swims in the lake.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, was that part of the development of that? Was the idea that there might be a scene?
There was a whole scene for a long time where they swam in the lake.
Oh, I kind of remember that.
Yeah, and I like because that really happened historically. It happened that POWs did
Sure.
escape. They thought they had escaped, and they really just wanted to go swimming.
Yeah.
So we decided it would be fun, and that lyric never got set. So I decided that I would.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Did you perform it too?
I
for,
did.
for the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's another thing to look forward to. And of course, you can always go to our website. We are, as a matter of fact, having another meeting tomorrow to try to figure out how to tailor our website now that we have to do everything virtually. And we have a lot of stuff going on, so there's plenty to pay attention to for sure.
Yeah.
At this point, I think we're going to try to stump the expert.
Oh, good.
Da-
So we
da-
are
da-
going
da.
to.
Yeah, that old gem.
Bill and I have been working. I would say. I mean, would you say it's been a few months really that we've been working on these
Laboriously.
questions?
Yeah, I think probably
Yeah.
late 2019. I think.
Late 2019.
So late, so late that it was really more like July 19th, 2020. Okay, so we decided that last week it was so fun to hear Jeff answer all these presidential trivia questions correctly
Uh-huh.
that we're gonna see if he can answer more presidential trivia
No,
questions.
are you
correctly.
serious?
Yeah.
Oh,
We
good lord.
Didn't you like
are-
them?
I-
If I was you, I'd love them because you're always
No, I
right.
do.
Okay. I don't believe you. Okay. Well, Bill's gonna go
I don't
first.
like when people stump me on them. That's my thing. See? I got a lot
oh.
of pride around my
All
trivia
right. Yes.
geekiness.
All right, first one.
Yes.
Which president could write with both hands at the same time?
Yeah, that was James Garfield.
He's so
Oh
amazing
my
at this.
God.
Isn't he amazing?
Well, this is no fun at
And
all.
he could and he could write in Latin.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was a real shame that James Garfield was assassinated in his first year in office because historians will say
He
that
was-
based on his intellect and also how well he adapted to the office even in that first year, that he probably could have been a really good president to take us through Reconstruction.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
a
that's
shame.
so
Oh, that is
Interesting.
sad.
Mhm.
Well, what material were George Washington's teeth made of?
Well, they always say they were made of wood, and I'm sticking with it.
Nope. Elephant and walrus tusk, gold and ivory.
Yeah, there you go. You know.
Yeah, there you go. Next.
Whatever. I don't like that question.
Which president often spoke Chinese to his wife?
Wow. Oh. Often spoke Chinese to his wife. I'm going to have to go with the brainiac of the bunch and say Wilson.
No, I'm sorry, friend. It is Hoover.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Oh, Hoover. Yeah.
Mhm.
Internet Commerce Secretary. So he was a big traveler too.
right. And the reason why he would do that,
Because Lou was Chinese.
and to keep their conversations private.
Oh, but she wasn't really Chinese.
I don't think so.
No.
But I have to say, about 10 minutes from where I live is the Hoover Presidential Library.
That's right, Iowa, of course.
It's fantastic.
Oh.
Yeah.
I learned so much. I didn't learn this, but I learned so much about him.
It's because it was in Chinese. You couldn't understand it.
Exactly. I was a wreck. But yeah, it's really kind of good.
Huh.
Who was
Hoover.
the only president to serve as Chief Justice on the Supreme Court?
That would be Taft.
I thought that was a softball. And which
Taft.
presidents did he swear in as that Chief Justice?
Oh, gosh. I suppose he would have sworn in Coolidge.
Yep, and
Hoover.
yep. Well done.
Hey, thank you.
My final question for you,
Yes,
Jeff Herbst,
Bill.
is who was the first president to use a telephone?
Yeah. It could have been the same dude who got electrified. I mean, electrification in the White House. So I'm gonna guess Harrison.
No, you were
Cleveland.
close, though. Rutherford B. Hayes.
Oh, it was even earlier.
Yeah. And as a follow-up question,
Katie.
what was his phone number?
555555555.
You're close. His phone number was
One. And Alexander Graham Bell called him.
Okay, one more question. Who was the head cheerleader at his high school?
George W. Bush.
Yes, isn't that? I can't believe you knew that. I can't believe that you're walking around and you don't just say that in the beginning of every conversation. It's like a shocking fact to me.
Well, he was also a college cheerleader.
Well, that's amazing.
Really?
Yeah, don't
Oh.
you think?
Well,
It
I
seems
knew
a
it,
bit
so
out of
not so
character.
amazing to me. Maybe I was amazed by it when I learned it.
I
I'm
just
not sure.
can't imagine. I mean, I love that. It really
Uh-huh.
widens my perspective.
Well,
on
he
him.
was, he had a little party reputation.
he was a
and-
party boy. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
right.
true.
Yeah,
Right.
Nobody parties like a cheerleader.
especially a male one.
Oh boy! All right, that was very fun. Good job, Jeff. I
Good
think
job,
you did
Jeff.
it very
Excellent.
well.
That
I,
was
Yes.
really good.
it makes me miss that old show we were going to do.
And
that,
if elected.
And if
Oh,
elected.
right.
Yeah, I tell you.
Now,
I will. I need to bring my flashcards.
yes.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
would be so fun.
At some point. Oh, look, it's Dave Alley, our
Dave
tech
Alley with
director.
the
He is bearing
bakery.
plates of
Dave
food
Alley.
Thank
because we are at the
Oh,
at the
wow.
weekly bake-off portion. Oh my God! It's like, I
Okay.
mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. How can you see? This is a little bit of a problem.
It's sort of insane what we do every week, Katie
It is.
Doll.
Well, my husband thinks so. I'm like, what are you doing now? I'm like, I'm just practicing this line of harmony
Yeah.
while I make my creme patissiere. Okay. Now, I think
Exactly.
I'm going to bring this up to the.
We have 3 very different items this week, which is always fun. I know that Dave Alley said that he made what he calls a cowboy cookie, so
Oh.
we'll have to be able to figure out what's in that. Katie Dahl just said that she made a creme patisserie because she made a brioche type item. I think it's got pain au raisin.
Oui, oui. mais
Oui, oui.
C'est pain au raisin.
It's a. And did you start it last night? Did you proof
Yes,
it
I
last
started
night?
it last night and proved it
Wow,
overnight in the
I'm so
refrigerator.
impressed.
Thank you.
You know what I did last night
What?
while you were doing that? I watched another episode of The Great British Bake.
Well, that's about the same.
Inspiration.
Yeah, and then I went to bed and dreamt about making my date nut loaf. And I decided this morning when I
Oh,
got up
date
that I
nut
wanted
loaf.
to, what do you call it? Accessorize it. So I made a cream cheese, but I made it with some honey that friends of ours actually got from their bees in Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh my
They
gosh.
just got their hive, and it was their first batch of honey. And then I also put some mint that Charles grew into that.
This
so
is what it looks
Impressive.
like, everyone.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Now, so
It looks quite special.
how do you make a cream cheese?
I didn't make the cream cheese. I
Oh,
bought
okay.
that.
You said I made a cream cheese, so that's what gave me.
Well,
the idea that
I mixed
did.
it up with some.
flavored it?
I mixed it up with some
Mm.
honey and some mint.
Oh, that is so good.
Mm-hmm.
The mint is like amazing.
It's.
Did you just make that up in your own mind?
I did.
Ah,
I did.
He's so smart, everyone.
I thought it would be really. I thought it'd be a nice little combo.
It's really good.
Oh,
it really,
good.
really
Mm.
is good.
Oh, good.
It's
I'm
really.
glad.
Have you eaten it yet?
I did take a little taste of it. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that I didn't over mint it. So.
No, you didn't.
No, it's delicious.
Oh, thanks.
I'm sure there's a pun with that mint somewhere that I could like, but I
I'm
can't
gonna
get there.
taste a monster cookie.
Okay, me too. I just wanted to say that Jimmy Kaplan has commented that his dad was a cheerleader in the Naval Reserve. I love that.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I had no idea. Rah, rah, rah.
Okay, so this is
Wait.
David Alley's cookie,
Mm.
cowboy cookie.
It's
Cowboy
so
cookie?
good. It's got coconut in it.
Mm.
It's got
Mm.
oatmeal.
Oh yeah,
It's got some chocolate. That's a great little cowboy cookie right there.
that's really good.
That's excellent, David
And
Alley.
also, it's thin, which I kind of like because you don't get like sometimes those really cowboy cookies get real thick and then
Yeah.
you don't.
kind
It's
of
like too
almost raw
much
in
in
the
every
middle.
bite. Like this is you get all the
Yeah.
the flavors in just a nice little reasonable
That's a
bite.
good point, Katie Doll.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now going to try the
Are you breaking into the Katie Doll?
Banolazon.
Very excited.
Pano raisin. I'm not gonna taste mine. I
Holy
did.
cow.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Katie Doll, you outdid yourself.
Thanks. I was pretty
Wow.
pleased with it.
Holy cow.
It's a brioche.
Yeah.
I've never made brioche before, but so that was exciting. My KitchenAid literally, I was worried about it. It was hot because it was going for 45 minutes. That thing.
No.
Oh my God.
You have to do it for 10 minutes until it comes together, and then another 15 minutes, and then you have to add the butter one by one, and as it blah blah blah, and then like so it's just crazy.
That is nuts.
But it's
Yeah,
delicious.
I'm glad it didn't shut down on you.
Me too. And then I made creme pâtissière, which I was so excited. I'd never made that before, and pastry cream it said in my book, but in in the Great British Baking Show they're always making creme pat, and I never
Creme pat.
knew what it was, and now I know.
It's delicious.
Well,
Hey,
thanks.
it's,
Wow.
all of these are so good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
what a
This
bonus.
I am really enjoying today. This is a real good baking day. I'm sorry to tell you all who are not getting to eat it, but
I'm scared to put mine down on the ground because I see ants crawling around down there.
Oh,
and
yeah,
They're
I'm
not
gonna
going to
put
get
it-
any of my food.
here, I'll take it.
Thank you. Whoa. Oh, the wind is a blowing.
You got yours? Okay. Oh, good.
So, Bill,
Yes.
you have to declare a winner.
Yum.
I do. Wow. It's a tough one. I think I'm going to have to go with Katie Dow.
Ah, there you go, Katie.
Thanks, Bill Tyson.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was
pretty-
excellent.
It was really
excellent.
delicious.
And
But
it
they
was
were
a-
all fantastic.
I really think I think this was the best day. I think that was like they were all exceptionally good
Yeah,
to me today.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We are lucky people.
We are.
It was
Clearly.
Katie Doll's idea to do the baking show, and I was like, "Oh my God, really? You're gonna make me bake?" Of course, I love cooking.
I
but-
knew that he did, and Jeff would just never answer me. I'd be like, "Should we do a bake off?" And then he would be like, "Hmm." And so like I was like, "Well," so before the first day, I was like, "Well, I'm gonna make something," and then he did make something,
I
and
know.
now
I
we do
know.
it every week.
I know. I had to surprise Katie Doll.
Yeah.
I like to surprise Katie Doll because you have a good surprise face. See?
She does.
It's immortalized in the logo of the show.
It's
I think it's a really fun
immortalized
part
in
of
the
the
logo
show.
of the show.
Yeah, you know the logo. The
Oh
we
yeah,
share-
yeah, from
I'm
Raise the
going-
Curtain. I know,
Yeah.
I know.
If any of you didn't see the Bill Tyson advertisement, I recommend
Oh,
you
it's very
check that
funny.
one out.
very
Bill's and his
funny.
Packer fans hat.
It's
I
a
think.
gem. Is it a gem?
That's a gem, yeah. It's Katie sent it, said, "Did you see this gem?" And I'm like, "You mean tacky sequin, don't you?"
A tacky sequin that sparkles.
Okay, well, I did put together a little trivia quiz of my own, tailored to,
boy.
I think, to our guest.
Oh, good.
One of the things that Bill has mentioned,
Oh,
sort of in
Lord.
passing, was that he was artistic director of the Skylight Opera Theater. Is that what it was called when you were there?
In my last year, it changed from Skylight Opera Theater to Skylight Music Theater. But
Yeah.
for the first 9 years, it was Skylight Opera Theater.
And now in Iowa, your position there is
I am the director of opera at the University of Iowa.
right. Opera.
Opera!
You know what Robert Benchley said about opera?
I do not.
He said opera is when a guy gets stabbed in the back, and instead of bleeding, He sings.
He sings. Exactly. Exactly.
So, Bill, I've got a few trivia questions here. These are kind of random, but I thought they were sort of interesting. So, the starting one, Katie Doll, you can weigh in here too. And these are not multiple choice. These are must answer.
Bill,
like
these are
I
not
had
multiple
to.
choice.
Okay.
We must answer.
Pass.
During the 17th century, women were not allowed to sing on stage, not even in a chorus. Who would sing the soprano, mezzo, or alto parts?
I mean, what is it, a boy?
I think it was a castrati,
A castrati.
That's correct,
Ah.
Bill.
Mhm.
That's correct.
which is a frightening thing we won't get into on this show. But
No, it's
But-
really interesting.
But now but some men naturally have like super, like I just,
countertenors.
yeah.
A countertenor. Yeah.
I heard
But that's-
one
but
of them
that's
on
developed
Terry
in-
Gross. That
Yeah.
was amazing.
Oh, they can be really gorgeous.
Yeah.
Really gorgeous, but it's not the same thing.
It is not.
Right.
This was
No, I know.
Yeah.
medical.
Yeah, this was
I
not
know what
good.
it is.
The first of the great castrati, by the way, was Baldassare Ferri.
Oh, I've heard the name.
Have
I
you?
would not have come up with that on my own, but I've heard the name.
He was so famous that the townspeople met him 3 miles outside the city and filled his carriage with flowers.
Wow.
What they mean they met him? Oh, like when he was
Like
coming
when he
to
was
the
coming
city.
to town.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's
yes.
amazing.
And as early as 1748, that was back, Baldassare Ferri was from 1610 to 1680.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
right.
That's a
I
good
know.
long.
Pretty old for a
Yeah.
castrato.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
guess. I don't really know what the lifespan of one is.
I don't either, but especially at that day, at that time.
Yeah,
Right,
any
70
human
years
being
old.
wouldn't have 70 would have been old for
Right.
any person
Yeah.
regardless.
Pope Benedict the 14th tried to ban castrati from the churches, but they were so popular that he realized that doing so would drastically decline attendance at church.
I
That's
bet.
how popular the
Oh, they were.
castrati
It was a phenomenon. It really was a phenomenon.
Yeah.
That it started out people weren't thinking, and then all of a sudden it became this larger than life event that everyone really was drawn to.
There is still one, apparently, according to Wikipedia, and I listened to it. There is still one extant recording of a castrato singing.
Really?
Yeah,
Ooh.
Wow.
yeah. So it happened as late as the turn of the century, after 1900,
Wow.
That's a little frightening.
right?
Yeah.
So we all know famous Mozart operas. Can
Yes.
you name a couple?
I can.
The famous ones.
My favorite would probably be Don Giovanni.
Oh.
I also love The Marriage of Figaro.
Uh-huh.
I'm a fan of the Magic Flute.
Yeah.
It's a curious piece,
Yeah.
and it has dialogue, but it's a charming piece.
Okay, here's the real question. What was the first opera Mozart wrote, and how old was he?
I believe, is it La Flinta? Is it The Gardener?
No.
It was he was either 12 or 17.
He was 12.
Right? He was 12.
Yeah. Wow, Bill.
And maybe I
That's
don't know.
really good.
La Finta is like the guard. There's one that he wrote maybe when he was 17 was that one. But
Yeah.
what is the
So
12-year-old
this one was a parody of Rousseau, of a Jean-Jacques Rousseau operatic intermezzo called Le Devin du Village, the village soothsayer.
Oh.
And what Mozart called his was Bastien und Bastienne.
Oh yes.
Do you know it?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Yes.
That's
I-
amazing.
yeah.
I'd
I
never heard
didn't
of
know
it.
the other title, but I've heard the Bastian. Yeah.
That's great.
And I did not know that was the first one he wrote, though. I knew, and I think it's a one act.
Probably.
I believe it's a one act. So
Yeah.
I was trying to find one acts to put together. So I would see that listed, but I did not realize that was his first
12 years old.
composition. Wow. I
Wow.
knew it was 12, but I thought it was a different piece.
Katie Dahl,
Yeah.
how old was Mozart when he died?
Well, I did see Amadeus.
Yes.
So that's about the extent of my knowledge.
What do you think,
he was
Bill?
he was 34.
I was going to say 31,
He's 35.
35.
He was
Good
35.
for you, Katie Dow.
Thank you.
On a quick
what-
side
what were-
note, just a quick side note.
Yeah.
I don't know if people are all the things that are available in the COVID time
Yeah.
online.
Yeah.
The National Theatre of
Yeah.
London screens a piece
Yeah.
every week that you can watch from
Yeah.
Thursday to Wednesday for free on YouTube.
This
week
week is Amadeus.
Well,
And-
you guys like planned that unison. That was
It
amazing.
is fantastic.
Oh, I can't wait
I'm
to see
It's
excited.
a fantastic
haven't-
Was it
production.
originally a
with-
stage show?
Oh yeah, that's how
Yes.
it started.
Yes.
It began
By
on Broadway,
Peter-
probably
Peter
in England.
Schaffer.
I think it started in London, then moved to
Oh.
Broadway, and then they made the film.
Oh, cool.
But this is a new production of it, done a few years ago, and it's fantastic.
Oh,
I was
cool.
hired when I was in college by Madison Rep which was still in existence
Mm-hmm.
back then, to do Salieri in that show.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a huge. It was. I mean, it was kind of stupid in a way. I mean,
What a great role, though. It's such
it
a
took
great
me
role.
forever to memorize that.
Oh,
you
I'll
know,
bet.
Salieri. I think Salieri has more lines than Hamlet.
Oh wow.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Now, when you say
huge.
you were hired, did you actually do it?
Yeah.
Oh, I was expecting the okay.
Yeah.
Get it.
No, I actually did it.
And then I quit.
I did it, and the guy that they hired to play Mozart didn't work out
Oh.
and
Oh.
during rehearsal, and he was replaced. So we had a brand new Mozart in the role before we opened.
Is it a musical /
Wow.
an opera?
No, it's a play
It's
Oh,
a
wow.
play.
with music, with
With music.
glorious music,
Yeah.
and
Glorious
really
music,
well
yeah.
used.
Huh.
And the way the National Theatre does the music part of it is pretty. It's huge.
I can't wait to.
It's-
I can't
yeah,
wait to see
I
it.
highly recommend it to anybody. Yeah.
Can either of you tell me what the rumored ways were that people said Mozart died?
Salieri killed him.
That's one of them.
Well,
Yeah.
there was. I know that there's been talk of a venereal disease.
Well, and it's possible. I
Uh-huh.
mean, they now think that it was probably bacterially related.
Mm-hmm.
The other way was that Masons poisoned him because he revealed too much in writing the Magic Flute.
Oh, and the Magic Flute, which was the last piece he wrote.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exciting. This is an
Wow.
exciting trivia section.
Right?
that's fascinating.
But although he did suffer in his lifetime from smallpox, tonsillitis, bronchitis, pneumonia, typhoid fever, rheumatism, and gum disease.
Oh my.
Just so you know.
Wow.
That's probably normal, huh?
Wow,
think-
it's blowing. It's
The
like,
ghost of Mozart has come back
Exactly.
to.
Dorothy!
He did-
Dorothy!
It's a twister. It's a twister.
After an aria or song, or at the end of an opera, it's appropriate to yell what words in their various gender and plural forms?
Brava,
Bravo,
bravo,
brava.
All four of them.
Oh, bravo, brava, bravi.
Bravissimo. Brave.
Bravissimo.
Brave,
Oh,
exactly.
brave.
If more than one woman.
Oh, the plural of bra. Uh-huh.
Oh.
Aha.
I've never
So-
said brave.
So poor you got left out.
Yeah,
No bravo.
exactly. Bravo.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Have you ever been to an opera, Bill, or been in one where there was a literal encore?
There was a.
An encore?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I was shocked.
Oh.
When I was in college, I went to Europe and just backpacked around, and I went to Verona, and I went to the outdoor opera there
Oh,
and saw
yes.
Tosca, which was unbelievable.
I'll bet.
And the soprano at the end sings Vici d'arte, and she finished, and that Italian audience was on its feet yelling ancora, ancora,
Right.
ancora. She sang it all again.
Sang it again.
Oh, the same one.
She's,
Yeah.
Yes.
Just
do it
repeat it.
again.
You
do
know
it again.
that is
Yeah.
rumored to have happened at Fishstock in the recording that no, it must have not been the Live in Fish Creek recording, but at Eric Lewis show at Fishstock, apparently they all sang farther along. Claudia, Russell, Eric Lewis, and Andy Ratliff probably. And there was such wild applause that they just sang the whole darn song again
There you go.
right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Encore, encore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
I've
I
never
experienced
known it.
an American musical theater version of that when I saw Follies at the Paper Mill Playhouse. Ann Miller sang "I'm Still Here,"
Again.
and she finished, and the audience leapt to their feet and clapped and clapped and clapped and would not let her leave the stage until she sang it again.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And what a segue that is into our last question, which is after Placido Domingo performed the title role in Verdi's Otello in Vienna on July 30th, 1991, the audience set a world record for the longest applause ever. How long was it?
I'll guess an hour.
What do you think, Katie Dell?
90 minutes.
An hour and 20 minutes.
Wow.
Holy cow.
With 101 curtain calls.
Oh my gosh.
my lord.
I know, right? And that was the number of curtain calls. That was a world record. The number of curtain calls was beaten by Pavarotti with how many did he have? 165, but he must have done them faster. Well done, Bill Theisen.
Well,
You
That's
are an
good.
opera
That was an
expert.
exciting
I
category.
was nervous.
It's the same as
Initially-
Jeff feels about the presidential trivia. You don't want to screw up your thing that you
Exactly.
truly
Your
are
expertise.
passionate about. Yeah.
Initially,
Exactly.
Bill, I had a whole, and this could be for your next guest appearance on the Jeff and Katie Show. I had a whole trivia quiz on Gilbert and Sullivan.
Oh, wow.
How would you do on that?
I would probably do pretty well on that.
Uh-huh. I bet you would. People are wandering through the Jeff and Katie show
I
live.
know.
We're live on social media
We're live
right
on
now.
TV.
Yes.
Yes.
This
Oh,
is Jim Wilson,
fantastic.
and he's a donor of this building. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
Well,
And they're
excellent.
junkies of the theater, just like the three of us. So
And
that's
Exactly.
unfortunately, you're not on mic, so hi, how are you? So we're repeating everything that you're saying so that people can understand that we're talking to somebody
Yeah.
who's standing off camera. Oh,
Well,
good.
he's
8
seen
times.
Belgians in Heaven
Oh.
8 times,
Wow.
everyone. Yeah.
That's
You're a
great.
true fan.
That's great. Well, you're welcome to stand over there and listen to us finish out the.
We
You
are
know,
almost
the
at the
show.
end, aren't we?
Broadcast,
We
we're just
are.
about done.
I wanted to mention everybody that don't forget that PayPal link if you want to put a few bucks in our bucket. PayPal.me/a-buck-in-the-bucket. And also I'm at 6:00 Central Time. I'm doing a live stream I'm going to play through the entirety of my debut album, County Line, which came out in 2009. I'm going to play through it in order on Zoom. And the way that you can that's at 6:00, so in about an hour.
Wow.
And the way that you can get the link is by joining me on Patreon, patreon.com/KatieDollMusic. And it's just $3 a month. And you could quit any time. So if you want to sign in for $3, get that link, I would encourage you to do that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, good luck with that, Katie.
Thank you.
It's
I'm
wonderful.
sure it'll be amazing. I love that album.
Oh, thanks. Oh, that's so nice. Okay, do I need my guitar?
Yeah, Katie's going to grab her guitar, and we're going to do a number that first appeared in. Where's my little prop? Oh, here it is. Here's a little
yes.
cassette, which is very hard to see from this far away. But this is a cassette from Old Friends, the songs by Paul Simon. And gosh, what year did we do this?
1998.
That sounds about right.
And it's the first time that I ever heard Claudia Russell sing.
Oh, man,
and
right?
now Claudia Russell is one of my most frequent collaborators, and I was just taken. I listened to that recording so much because I was just like. Also, it was where I really learned Paul Simon songs. I mean,
yeah.
and that's an amazing combination to happen when you're 16 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that made a big difference in my life. That
Yeah,
show.
yeah. Well, Claudia Russell is she's just such a great singer.
She's a great singer.
Yeah.
And Don Thompson and Chris Irwin, also great singers and great interpreters. And I think the great thing about this is the cassette of the show. You probably can't see it, but I'm going to describe to you that there are 5 pictures along here. There's Don Thompson, Chris Irwin, Claudia Russell, and Jimmy Kaplan. And then Jeff Herbst makes not 1 but 2 appearances on this.
Yeah, whoever designed that really liked me.
I wonder who designed
It wasn't
that.
me. I might
So he
have had
says.
artistic control. over it.
All right, so I'm going to.
So we're gonna do a Paul Simon song that did appear in that show called "The Boxer."
And
Bill
this is
suggested
my
it.
request because I'm sure many of you have heard Katie Doll live at many locations around Door doing her sets. And I often go and listen to she and Rich, and I always request this song. And even if they've already done it by the time I get there, I make them do it again. So-
Encore.
Exactly, encore. They're going to clap for an hour and 20 minutes. I just know Katie.
Yeah, there
Yes,
you
But
go.
I
it is
know.
one of my favorite songs that Katie performs.
Yeah, I love doing that. This is for me very fun. All right. I am just a poor boy, though my story's seldom told. I have squandered my resistance for a pocket full of mumbles, such are promises. All lies in jest, still a man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest.
When I left my home and my family, I was no more than a boy in the company of strangers, in the quiet of the railway station, running scared. Laying low, seeking out the poorer quarters where the ragged people go, looking for the places only they would know. Lie, la, lie. Lie, la, lie, 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 la, lie. Lie, la, lie. Lie, la, lie, 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 la, lie, la,
wages. I come looking for a job, but I get no offers. Just to come on from the whores on 7th Avenue. I do declare there were times when I was so lonesome I took some comfort there.
Then I'm laying out my winter clothes and wishing I was gone, going home, where the New York City winters are in bleeding me, bleeding me, going home.
Lie, la, lie. Lie, la, lie, 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 la, lie. Lie, la, lie. Lie, la, lie, 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 la, lie, la, 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 lie. In the clearing stands a boxer and a fighter by his trade, and he carries the reminders of every glove that laid him down or cut him till he cried out in his anger and his shame, I am leaving, but the fighter still remains. Lie, la, lie. Lie, la, lie, 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 la, lie. Lie, la, lie. Lie, la, lie, la, lie, la, lie, la, 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 lie. Lie, la, lie, la, lie, la, lie. Lie, la, lie. Lie, la, lie, la, lie, la, lie, la, 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 lie.
Well, I'm not sure if you can see us, everybody, or not. We can't see you, but it says should be back now, so maybe we are. We'll hope so. It's been a real pleasure to have our friend Bill Theisen
Yeah, it sure
here
has.
with us.
It's been great. Thanks so much for having me.
My pleasure. Do we know if we're live still?
Well, I think we might be. I think it's worth singing our song in
Hard to
case
know.
we are. Yeah.
The Jeff and Katie Show.
The Katie and Jeff Show.
Jeff and Katie Show.
The Katie and Jeff Show. Commutable.
Disputable.
Disputable.
Refutable. No matter what, we know that you'll be watching. The Jeff and Katie Show.
And Bill!
Well, thanks, everyone. I hope you
Oh.
can see us.
Thanks,
for
everybody.
joining us.
Thanks, Jeff and Katie.
Oh, thank you, Bill.
Woo!